So, can you do an Ironman? The answer is probably yes, but you're going to have to take some time to prepare for it. You can't just jump in willy-nilly and expect to finish something like that. So, let's talk about how many races there are, what the typical DNF rate is, and what sort of time you would need to prepare for a full Ironman event. Right now, there's 46 Ironman events plus a handful of other non-Ironman but full distance events around the world. Each of these races has, on average, 1,500 to 2,000. Some are a little more, some are a little less, but let's call it 1,700. Right? So you've got 46 times 1,700, which is a big number. I don't know what that number is. It's in the 80s. Of those people, a lot of them are first-time Ironman athletes. Now, the DNF rate, did not finish rate at these events, tends to be about 10% of the starting population, meaning if 2,000 people started the race, around 200 aren't going to finish. Now, there's going to be some mishaps, there's going to be mechanical problems, there's going to be other issues along the way, but the majority of these folks are not finishing because they didn't prepare properly. Or they prepared properly and they executed very poorly, meaning they went way too hard on the bike, or they started the run way too hard, or they had a problem in the swim and had to get pulled out of the swim, right? So you can do all the preparation in the world and still blow it with poor execution of your race strategy. So 46 chances around the world. I don't know, 20 or 30 domestic in the United States. And then we have a bunch of half 70.3 events. There's like 100 of those around the world. But strictly talking about Ironman racing, yes, you probably can do it. Everyone has some limitations that may hold them back. But if you have the desire to do an Ironman, you can do it. You need a couple of things. You need motivation, time, and consistency. That third one is super important because you can't miss a week, train a week, miss a week, train a week. You're going to have a lot of trouble advancing and improving your fitness if you are not consistent. So let's talk about those three things. Motivation, two forms. Internal motivation, meaning you desire to improve yourself, you're proving something to yourself. You set a goal and you put your mind to it and you want to achieve it. Or external motivation, getting congratulations from our friends, impressing our loved ones, the reward of seeing yourself on the finish line and getting that nice big medal that you can hang in your office or in your house. Neither one of these is bad or good. They are motivations that work for you. And so it's good as an athlete to recognize where does your motivation come from. Most of us have a mix of it. We're internally motivated, but we also like to have people tell us we're cool for doing something hard, right? So that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The next one is time. The closer you are to zero as far as your fitness goes, the more time you will need to get up here to this Ironman level of fitness. The cutoff time for most Ironman races is 17 hours. That's most of a day. It's a long time, but some people do need most of that time to get through the entire race. We're talking like a 2-hour swim, an 8-hour bike, and a 6-hour run without any transition time puts you at 16 hours, right? So that's the sort of time that you may be looking at. But I'm talking more about the time of training in order to improve your fitness. If you come from a running background, swimming background, any endurance sport background, you're going to have a much shorter time that you would need in order to get to an Ironman fitness level. That's the easy way for me to say this. If you're starting out from zero, you should plan at least 2 years, if not 3 or 4 years. If you're starting out from pretty good fitness, you should plan out at least a full season, if not 2 full seasons, right? So season 1, you do a half Ironman. Season 2, you do an Ironman. If you want to go from, I'm a good runner. I ran a marathon last year in January or December, and you could target a October or November Ironman. That's realistic. But if I'm getting off the couch today, I'm going to say you need a minimum 3 years. The issue is the amount of training and the time that you have to put into Ironman training. If you try to jam all that into 1 year, your chances of injury go through the roof. It's a lot of stress on your body. Your body wouldn't have time to adapt to all the changes. Your your tissue, your soft tissue, ligaments and tendons they'd be very challenged, right? And so you could wind up with serious knee issues, serious hip issues. Don't do that. Take a minimum 2 year, if not 3 or 4 year approach so that you can build into this appropriately. So that's the years of time that you need to get ready for an Ironman if you're motivated. The next one is consistency. We need you to be consistent week in and week out so that the fitness that you build in week 1 is built again on week 2 and built again on week 3, right? So you are continuously improving. There's going to be recovery weeks, recovery periods, little vacations, things like that. But the goal of your training is sort of like any sort of graph that goes up continuously. Right? We want this improvement to go up continuously. If we improve and then detrain, we improve and then detrain, you're going to have a hard time getting to the start line. So, what it takes for an Ironman: a commitment to week in and week out of 10, 12, 15 hours of week of training. If you can get up to the 15 to 20 hours per week training, then you're going to be in pretty good shape. If you have trouble getting into the 10-hour range per week of total training time, you may find it more challenging. You might want to adopt I'm going to finish the race approach rather than I'm going to race the race approach. Because endurance sports, especially a very extreme one like triathlon or Ironman, requires training time, right? So how do we stay motivated? Friends that keep us on target, coaches like myself that can keep pushing you, and various groups that you can go out to and do a long ride, a long run with. These are the things that will help keep you motivated. Reminding yourself why you decided to go on this journey will help you. Whatever you can do to keep yourself motivated is going to be critical to success for Ironman training. So, can you do it? Yes. What's going to hold you back? You or poor planning, poor time management.